Hi, I'm Richard Maraj, Senior Minister at Unity of Phoenix Spiritual Center, and I want to thank you for visiting our website and for tuning in to today's message. If you feel inspired by today's talk, I really encourage you to make a donation by hitting that button below and making a contribution to this ministry. It'll allow us to continue these messages online and to do the great work we do here at Unity of Phoenix, which is to inspire people to live better lives. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for your support, and we hope to see you at a Sunday real soon.
Morning again, everyone. Welcome also to everybody who watches us online. Special shout out to Kim, who watches from Shadron, Nebraska. And she and her family watch at home every single week. So lots of love to you. Thanks so much for the note, too. Really appreciate your support. So welcome to you and your family. So St. Peter's at the pearly gates. And he's waiting for the incoming, and he sees Jesus walking by. And he says, "Hey, Jesus, could you do me a little favor? Could you watch the gate for a while I run an errand?" And Jesus says, "Sure. What do I need to do?" And he says, "Well, just find out with the people who arrive, find out about their background, their families, with their lives, and then you can decide if they deserve entry into heaven." And Jesus says, "Okay, that sounds pretty easy." So Jesus is waiting there while St. Peter is running his errand. And then the first person to approach the gates is this wrinkly old man. And Jesus summons the old man to the examination table and sits across from him and then asks him, so he said, "What did you do for a living?" And the old man said, "Well, I was a carpenter." And then Jesus said, "So did you have any family?" He said, "Yeah, well, I had a son, but I lost him." And Jesus, remembering his earthly existence, it's a little intrigued. He says, "You lost your son. Can you tell me more about him?" He said, "Well, he had holes in his hands and holes in his feet." And Jesus says, "Well, anything else you can tell me about him?" He said, "Yeah, well, his birth, was associated with a miracle, and they wrote a book about him." And so Jesus leans forward, and he whispers, "Father?" And the old guy leans forward and squints his eyes, and he says, "Pinocchio?" Okay. Not bad. How many people have no idea who Pinocchio is? Anybody? Does everybody know the Hokey Pokey, though? You know the Hokey Pokey? I had a friend who was addicted to the Hokey Pokey, but he turned himself around. All right. So how many people, I know I can't believe I tell them either, but how many people have a situation in your life that you would like things to turn around? Anybody have one of those? How many have a situation that has been going not the great way for so long, you really don't have a clue what to do about it? And how many people have an area in your life that's been so frustrating you wish you could have a do-over? You could just start over fresh again. I think one of the things that we as human beings don't always believe is that we have the power to turn things around. I don't think we realize how truly powerful we are in making changes and making accomplishments and creating things in our lives. That we really have the power to improve our situations, to improve our lives, to experience more joy and fulfillment. And one of the greatest tools that we have to do that is one that we don't consciously often always use, and that is the power of a positive attitude. We've all heard, change your attitude, change your life. It is not your aptitude, but your attitude that affects your altitude. We've heard it over and over again. And you know why? Because it's true. Having a positive attitude literally shifts the quality of our lives. It improves the quality of our relationships, the quality of the work that we do, the quality of all the experiences we have. It improves our health. Because a positive attitude really helps us not get down and stuck in the negativity. We still feel our feelings, but it helps us get over those a lot quicker. It opens our hearts and our minds to greater solutions and ideas. It actually helps us have a greater sense of humor and more joy and fulfillment in all the areas and all the things that we do. It keeps us more calm. We worry and fret a lot less. And we can stay more present to life when we have a positive attitude. How many people would say you have a positive attitude? How many people would say as positive as your attitude is, there's some room for improvement in being a little more positive in at least one area in your life? Well, we are in the second week of our 4-week series, our annual series called The Songs of Life, because we all love songs. There are songs that inspire us and get us through difficult times. The songs that open our hearts and calm us down. You know, the songs that bring clarity and really help us through certain situations. So I think songs can touch us in a way that just the words, spoken words can't. And they can also help us and learn how to live our lives a little bit better, a little freer and more deep. Last week we looked at Elvis Presley's song, If I Can Dream, and it was really about the power of hope and the power to dream. Today we're going to look at Barry Manilow's 1977 hit, Daybreak, which is, I believe, a song about the power of our attitude and letting whatever song we sing shine into the world. And so this is such a good feel-good song. I mean, I just love this song, and it sounds so simple. And it can even sound a little bit fluffy and airy-fairy, but I actually think there's a lot of wisdom and insight about how to live a happier life and be more joyful. So let me just read you some of the lyrics. I'm singing to the world. It's time we let the Spirit come in. Let it come on in. I'm singing to the world. Everybody's caught in the spin. Look at where we've been. We've been running around year after year, blinded with pride, blinded with fear. But it's daybreak. If you want to believe, it can be daybreak. Ain't no time to grieve, said it's daybreak. If you only believe and let it shine, shine, shine all around the world. And I love that line, I'm singing to the world. I love how he uses the analogy of singing to really represent all of the energies that we put out into the world. It's about our attitude, it's about our thoughts, about our feelings. It's all the energy that we put out into the world and represented in the song that we sing. So my question for you is, what kind of song are you singing to the world? What kind of song are you singing about your health or your relationship? You know, about your finances, about all the areas of your life. You know, what kind of song are you really singing to the world? I mean, are you singing a sad song? A somebody done somebody wrong song? I know I'll never love this way again song? Are you singing It's Impossible? Or are you singing a happy tune? Are you singing a Don't Worry, Be Happy? Or are you singing the times of your life or everything's coming up roses? I mean, think about it. What kind of song are you putting out to the universe? What kind of energy are you emitting through your words, through your attitude, through your thoughts and your actions? Because one thing we really absolutely realize is that everyone and everything responds to energy. That our attitude is energy. And the quality of the energy we put out is the quality of the energy that we get back from the universe. A positive attitude has a high vibration and frequency that we put out into the world. And sometimes this great gift and tool of our attitude, we don't always consciously set it or intentionally set the kind of attitude we want to radiate or the kind of song that we actually want to sing to the world. But the Bible gives us some instructions of the kind of song that we want to sing. You know, it says in the Old Testament, make a joyful noise unto the Lord. You know, make a joyful noise with your life. You know, it says, you know, whatever is honorable and praiseworthy, these are the things to think about. So what kind of thoughts are we thinking? And then the final one says, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. And so are the meditations of our heart, you know, and the words of our mouth really in alignment with all that God wants for us? Are they in alignment with the level of love and the kind of person we want to be and the kind of life that we want to live? And I think it's important for us to be more conscious and intentional about the energy we want to put into the world, about the kind of song that we want to sing. Here's what Barbara Marciniak said. Everything changes when you start to emit your own frequency rather than absorbing the frequencies that are around you. Everything changes when you start imprinting your own intent on the universe rather than receiving an imprint from whatever is existing. And so how consciously are you putting out your own frequency? And what's the frequency you want to put out into the universe? Because the more conscious we are, guess what? The better life gets. The more good we get coming back to us and the more we can change and transform things in our lives. You know, sometimes we think we really don't have choice, but the fact is every day in every situation we always have a choice. Happiness is a choice. Being bitter is a choice. Being honest is a choice. Being forgiving is a choice. Being open-hearted is a choice. You know, Abraham Lincoln once said, most people are as happy as they make up their minds to be. And every one of us is as happy as we choose to be. You know, so do we choose happiness or do we choose to blame? You know, do we choose to hold on to grudges and resentment? Because the choice is always ours. The Bible tells over and over again how much choice we have. Ask and you shall receive. That's a choice. Seek and you shall find. Choice. Knock and the door will be opened to you. Choice. Decide upon a thing and it will be established for you. Choice. We are told about free will. Everything is a choice. We have the choice of how we show up and respond. And sometimes we don't choose well. Let's choose some things that aren't good for us. You know, the word sin means to miss the mark. And sometimes we miss the mark in life. We're not as kind or thoughtful. We don't make decisions that are as wise. But the word repent means to rethink. And if we can rethink, we can re-choose. We can make a new choice and a better choice. So we aren't held back by all the mistakes. We get to choose and relearn. And so my question for you is, so we can choose to change the song that we're singing. So think of an area in your life where you're singing a sad song, or I'm feeling sorry for myself song. And what's a better song you can sing? Or here's an interesting one. If you would ask all your friends and family what kind of song you sing, what would they say about the song that you're singing? I don't know about you, but it would scare me to ask people what they're thinking. And what would be the ideal song you'd like to be known for? Singing a grateful song, a joyful song, a caring song, a loving song, a supportive song, a generous song? What kind of song would you like to be known for as singing with your life? And would you be willing to be more intentional in making a choice of that frequency and that energy you want to put out into the world and be known for in how you express through your words, thoughts, and actions, or what you are singing to the world? Because that's always our choice. And the more we're intentional with it, the better the results would be. Now, the fact is, we're good at, and we have the power to choose and have that intention. Sometimes we don't always get it right. The Apostle Paul says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. But sometimes we get stuck in the appearances. You know, sometimes we get stuck in a rut. Sometimes, we lose our way, we numb out. Sometimes we get a little judgmental and critical and harsh. You know, sometimes we don't always choose the right thing, and we do get, stuck in certain areas. I love the line that he says. He says, we've been closing our eyes day after day, covered in clouds, losing our way. Anybody ever felt like you've lost your way? Okay, apparently it's just me, but that's okay. And the thing about it is, well, what's amazing is sometimes when we get lost and stuck, we can just stay stuck in certain negativity. It's amazing the human capacity to hold on to negative things, to hold on to grudges, to hold on to bitterness. So let's say this thing. You had a day, and like 10 people told you how fabulous you were, and then one snarky person at the checkout counter was really kind of mean and rude to you. When you're going to bed, which is the thing that you sometimes think of the most? It could be 1,000 good things, sometimes just one negative thing we said, and we get ourselves in a rut. We let our minds get infused with negativity, and we start being anxious, or resentful or upset. The whole idea about daybreak, it can be daybreak if you only believe. Daybreak represents a fresh new start, seeing life with new eyes, new possibilities, new opportunities, with a new mindset, with a new energy. And the only way to have a new day is to let go of the old day. That's why the Apostle Paul said, I die daily. And what he means is, I let go and release everything that happened today so I can be fully present to tomorrow, so I can truly have a new day. Because we really sometimes hold on to the pain of the past. And I'll tell you, having a daybreak or a new day and a new opportunity, a fresh start, requires that we do some letting go. Maybe it's, who do you need to forgive? What pain of the past is it time to release? What old things that aren't serving you any longer that it is time for you to let go? There's a powerful message in Psalm 51, which is a Psalm of David. And he has just done something not so great. And what he did was he was having an affair with Bathsheba. And he sent Bathsheba's husband, Uriah, to the front lines for him to get killed so he could have her. And eventually he is lamenting this and feeling horrible about it. And this is where that line comes about, being conceived in sin and born in iniquity, that kind of line. But also in it, it also has the line, create in me a clean heart, O Lord, and renew a right spirit within me. Because the fact is, we're all going to, drift off. We're all going to make some mistakes. And the most important thing for it to be daybreak is to cleanse our heart, is to practice forgiveness. It says, I'm singing to the world, it's time to let the Spirit come in. And you've got to let God's Spirit come in to cleanse and purify, to help release and let go of the unhealthy things we hold on to and think, so it can be a new day, so it can be a fresh start. So what in your life is it time for you to let go and release? And are you willing to turn to Spirit to help purify and cleanse your heart? Create in me a clean heart, O Lord, and renew a right spirit within me, because that is an absolute necessity for being a more open channel, so it really can be a daybreak, so it really can be a new and fresh start. Sometimes we think only fresh starts can happen like on New Year's Day, or we have all these things. The truth, it could be any time. Right now it could be a daybreak. Right now it could be a new opportunity for you to start out fresh in anything you want if you are willing to do it. And so this whole idea of letting the Spirit come in is allowing it so we can let that light within us shine. Jesus said, you are the light of the world. Do not hide your light. Don't put it under a bushel basket, but put it up on the stand so it will give light to everyone in the house. I mean, do you know that you're the light of the world? Do you know that God's light is in you? And how much are you cultivating it? And how much are you letting that light shine? It is a powerful and important thing to let the truth of your light, your authentic self, be radiating, because you are here to do good into the world, to bring more light and love. How many people know who Trevor Noah is? Anybody? So Trevor Noah is a comedian. He took over for the Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Friday night, he was in town. My sister and I and some friends went to see him, laughed my butt off. Guy's amazing. And what's even more amazing about him, so he was born in South Africa at a time where it was illegal for a white person and a black person to be in a relationship. So just being in a relationship was illegal, and you could have been thrown in jail like his mom was. But him being born was even more illegal, if such a thing is, and he was mixed. And people would call them names and say all kinds of stuff. And when the names came, the mom would send back something nice, would say something nice, and he'd get mad. Mom, why are you doing that? They're saying mean things. She said, Trevor, anytime someone says something negative, what you need to do is mix it in with the love of Jesus and send it back out. And he said, Mom, that's not right. Don't do. And so he's arguing, and over again, she saw every time that something negative, the mom would mix it in with the love of Jesus and send back something good. And what she was doing was she was letting her light shine even in a dark place. No matter how much darkness comes, you mix it in with the light and you send that light on into the world. And things weren't easy for them just from that, because the white father who was from Switzerland was never in his life. And a few years later, the mom married a man who was physically abusive both to her and to Trevor as well. And the man actually shot her in the back of the head. And somehow she didn't sustain any major long-lasting injuries. He was imprisoned for a while, but he threatened that he would kill Trevor, and he ended up moving away. But Trevor realized that shining that light in the darkness was the only response that would ever get anywhere. And if you did it enough, that it would transform your life and miracles would happen. Today, Trevor Noah is one of the most successful comedians in the world. He wrote a book called Born a Crime, and they're about to make it into a movie. And his mom is as thrilled as she could be. But my point is that there are times in our lives that we experience that we have darkness. We have things that aren't going so well. And the most important thing to sing your song and let it shine is to shine it in those areas of darkness. You remember when Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers and he was left for dead in a pit? And the line came, man meant it for evil, but God means it for good. So if there's a situation in your life that isn't working as well, just shine your light by remembering God means this for good. That somehow this thing, God, good will come from this situation. Even if I don't know how, I can turn and trust Spirit and know that it will get better and it will improve. That is one of the most powerful ways to let your light shine, is to shine it in the areas that aren't working well in your life and keep shining it. And miracles and transformations, things will turn around in a great way. Another important way to let your light shine is to make sure you shine it on yourself once in a while. We're always so harsh on ourselves that sometimes I think just being more gentle, more patient, more supportive, more caring about ourselves, more honoring about who we are, because we are unique. We are wondrously and amazingly made, and we need to recognize the gifts and the talent and the beauty and the difference that we make in the world. I love that movie, and I mentioned it several times. It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart, George Bailey. He wished he hadn't been born because he made a mistake, or his company wasn't going well. And he got to see what life would have been like without him. And you have no idea what a difference your life makes and what this life would be like without you, how your family would be impacted, how your friends, how your community, how this ministry would be impacted without you. And so we need to shine the light of love on our own selves to remind us of our great truth. And sometimes it's hard for us to say and believe and think nice things about ourselves. I've a mastermind partner and a couple of friends, we were doing a thing, and part of it was we had to call each other every day and say something nice about ourselves. And it ended after 2 days because we had a hard time. It's like, well, I have nice hair. And second day, it's like, I'm good at parallel parking. I ran out of stuff. And we all need to shine the light on ourselves and be a little more honest of how wonderful we are. And it's not to take a bullhorn and go stand in the corner and start saying how great you are. It's about starts right here. Are you willing to even own and acknowledge your beauty and your light and your magnificence? Because if we can't honor it and acknowledge it here, how are we going to let it flow freely when we're a tight vessel, that constricts it instead of allows ourselves to own the truth of who we are and how great we really are? And the third thing about shining your light is to share it with other people. Make it a commitment every day to make someone's day, to lighten up and brighten up someone's day, to support them on their journey, to help make their dream come true, to even remind them of what a wonderful person they are. So even a commitment to wake up every day and know that you'll look every person in the eye that you see and say, good morning, it's nice to see you. Or good morning, it's really nice to meet you. Just a smile, open a door, whatever little thing, making that commitment to make someone else's day brighter, to make someone else's day happier is a powerful thing. How many people ever heard of Andre Ingram? Okay, nobody. That works out well. So Andre Ingram played in the D-League for the kind of minor leagues for the NBA for the Los Angeles Lakers. Last Tuesday, when they were doing their end-of-season exit interview, Magic Johnson showed up and said that they were going to sign him for 2 days, for 2 games for the season. Andre Ingram has been playing in the D-League for more than 10 years. He's 32 years old, been waiting for his break for more than a decade to play in the NBA. And the Lakers didn't need to do that. Nobody hires a 32-year-old rookie or somebody for 2 days. But you know what? They saw an opportunity to make his day, to help his dream come true after struggling. He only makes $19,000 a year playing basketball in the D-League, so not enough to feed his family. He's a physics teacher on the side. And he said yes. In that game, he scored 19 points. He went 4 to 5 from the three-point line, hit all his free throws. And what was the most amazing thing was that James Harden, who's going to win MVP from the Rockets, and Chris Paul, they were loving on him, high-fiving him like he was the star of the show. And when they were interviewing him on Inside the NBA with Charles Barkley, they were all in awe. They said, our whole NBA family, every team member is so proud that you had the endurance to keep going after your dream for 10 years. They all said they wouldn't have waited more than a year or 2 or 3, but they were so inspired by him. And the point I'm trying to make is, by one simple thing of trying to help someone's dream, the ripples of good feelings through the NBA and anybody who likes sports or everyone who's just alive could not be helped but be inspired by this young man and this amazing story. John F. Kennedy once said a line, and it was, injustice anywhere affects justice everywhere. But I like to expand that to show the power and say that love expressed anywhere affects the level of love everywhere. Kindness anywhere affects the level of kindness everywhere. Healing anywhere affects the level of healing and wholeness everywhere. Please don't underestimate your power to make a difference in the world. That the ripple of kindness, of your generosity, of your support of someone else, believing in them, helping them in their dream, ripples out to good feelings more than you could imagine. Who would have thought that one move for that kid would make the whole basketball world feel such a sense of pride and joy? You have that power to make that difference. The fact is, every single one of us is here to sing our song to the world. And we need to choose the song and the energy that we want to sing. Cleanse our heart, to open our channel more, and then to just let it shine, shine, shine all around the world. And we will truly experience daybreak. God bless you all.